Hi, friends. Just wanted to reach out and provide some hope and inspiration today. Today, I have been really feeling compelled to talk about our being salt and light. So, I'm going to share a verse with you from Matthew 5, verses 13 through 16. This is Jesus talking at the famous Sermon on the Mount, and it's also in that same time when he presented the Beatitudes, which are the attitudes that we should embody as followers of Christ. So it says this: You are the salt of the earth, but if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled under people's feet. You are the light of the world. A city set upon a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. In that same way, let your light shine before others, so they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. So I'm going to break down the words here because I think it really helps to understand this a little bit better. The word here, salt, is the Greek word halos. And it means what we're familiar with, salt, which is used for seasoning. It was also used and sprinkled on sacrifices that were offered at the time. It is also a symbol of lasting accord, so in connection to one another. And it also means wisdom and grace exhibited in speech. So when Jesus is talking here about us being salt of the earth, it means that we are there to add seasoning, to bring out the God-given flavors of those around us. So if you think in terms of like a meal, we know that if we don't have enough salt, it's bland, right? Or if we add too much salt, it just ruins the food. So we're there to add flavor, to add seasoning, and to bring out the flavors of those around us, their true essence. In addition to this, it's a symbol of that lasting accord, a commitment between people and between us and God. And it also reflects wisdom and grace displayed in speech. To give us another example of this, we can look at Colossians chapter 4, verse 6, where Paul writes, "Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person." I love this. Our speech should be gracious and seasoned with salt. So how are we interacting with those around us? How do we show up when we are having conversations and interactions, especially with people who we don't agree with, or maybe even we don't like? And I hate to say that out loud, but we are human beings. There are people that are easier for us to get along with than others, and there are people we understand and those we don't. And so when we are that salt of the earth, here it's us showing wisdom in our speech, but also showing grace in our interactions. So now I want to address light really quick. And it says here that we are the light of the world, and that we're not to be hidden, right? We're not meant to be dampened or put under a basket, so to speak. And the word light here is the Greek word phos, like phosphorus. It tells us God is light because light has the extremely delicate, subtle, pure, and brilliant quality. In addition, it tells us that light here means truth and knowledge, together with the spiritual purity associated with it, and which exposes the darkness. So light exposes dark. It also means reason, mind, the power of understanding, moral and spiritual truth. So when we look at this, we understand that we are there to bring light to a dark world, but also to bring truth and purity of speech and knowledge and that moral and spiritual truth. But the thing about light is that the light that we're called to be is a light that is inviting. It's a light that's like a beacon of light that draws people in, not like a searchlight or a spotlight that scares people away, right? So here, when we're thinking in terms of us being that light in the world, we're here to expose darkness. We're also here to add light in places where there's darkness, and to basically, exude truth and knowledge, spiritual purity, understanding of spiritual truth and morality. So when we look at Ephesians chapter 5, verses 8 through 14, we hear this. For at one time you were darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of light, for the fruit of light is found in all that is good and right and true, and try to discern what is pleasing to the Lord. So my friends, take a little time with this. Let this sink in. Think about how this impacts the interactions that you have and the ones that you will be having, knowing that we are called to be that salt of the earth and that we are called to be the light of the world. God bless you all.